Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. Was having a little bit of a difficult day looking for some topics, and then Mitch sends over a topic. He's like, bro, did you hear about what's going on with the WNBA? Right? It seems to be a big thing. And I had heard a little bit about it. I think I even saw a video of Shaq talking about one WNBA player making like $78,000 a year, and it's like you should be making $10 million a year. And then there's kind of been this conversation around the WNBA for a long time about them feeling like, you know, they're not compensated fairly, and they're looking at NBA players and all of that. You had the time when Draymond Green called out Lisa Leslie on the Shop about this. So you have that, right? So he's like, you should check out this story. A lot of people are talking about it. So I then began to look around because I needed a quick summation of it. I couldn't like hunt it down bit by bit. Then I tuned into a segment on The Odd Couple with Rob Parker and Kelvin. And it turns out they discussed this very thing less than 24 hours ago. So I clicked on their video to hear what they had to say. And we want to break this show down in a few segments. So the first part of the video, they're actually unpacking the issue and they're explaining it, right? And I thought that Kelvin did a very good job unpacking it and explaining it out before Rob Parker actually then started to give his viewpoint. So what we want to do is want to play exactly what Kelvin had to say first, and he just kind of lays out everything for everybody to kind of understand it. So for those of you who are maybe watching the show that don't really know the details or haven't been following the story as closely as maybe others are, I want you guys to listen to this part here so you get the full scope of it, and I'm going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to what Kelvin had to say here.
Before the All-Star game, all right? 2 days before that, 40 players met with the league offices in their latest round of their CBA negotiations, all right? Now, according to multiple reports, the players did not think that the meeting was very productive. They didn't think that it was helpful. They were very upset about what happened during that meeting. So, ahead of the All-Star game, which is for a lot of them the biggest night of the year, players on both sides, including Caitlin Clark, wore black shirts during warm-ups that read, "Pay us what you owe us."
Originally, I thought it said welfare queens on it, but I didn't have my glasses. My glasses.
All right, so this is where it got interesting, right? You saw the shirts.
You know the WNBA.
Yeah, I thought what is it, welfare?
Yeah.
So ignorant.
They only lost money for 30 years. What do you want?
I know. But so this is where the conversation
and you get government cheese and a ball. Go ahead.
Stop it. Government cheese was good for grilled cheese. That's it.
Go ahead.
That's the only time it's good. No, this is where it gets complicated, right? Because the WNBA hasn't made a profit in a general sense of making profits for all these years, and it's averaging since it started around $10 million deficit each year. That's what it's operating on. But when you start to dive deeper into it, more so than just the simple math, is where it gets complicated. I think the average person, especially on X, Instagram, Threads, any site, isn't doing the deep dive. So WNBA players are simply saying this, Rob. We are saying most leagues in the NBA, NHL, NBA, NFL, they're making around 50% of the revenue that comes in. 50%. The WNBA is only making, how much you think? 30? No. 20? No. 10? No. 9%. So they're saying, hey, we're only making 9%. Our counterparts are making 50% of the revenue driven. And then somebody would say, well, what revenue and what's going on? Well, certain good things have happened and favorable for the league, which would be in turn favorable for the players who are essentially the product. The league has secured a new lucrative $2.2 billion media rights deal to begin in 2026 next year, which is expected to significantly increase revenue. So if you don't stand on it now, Rob, you know this from business standpoint, how am I going to get it? If I just go with the flow, all right, give me 9% a year, then I'm not going to get any of that $2.2 billion. But if I say, hey, we got to negotiate and go up to, 10, 15, 20, 25, whatever, however high they can take it, that's to me that's just simple good business math. Also, the attendance is up 26%. You and I have talked about that. 23% viewership is up. And also merchandise, which is huge because you get percentage of those sales, is up 40%, nearly half, nearly 50%. So simply what they're doing is saying, hey, if there is money to be made, which clearly there are, not to mention $250 million they're getting for the new NBA, the new WNBA teams, the new franchise fees.
Fantastic. So you heard what Kelvin had to say there. So after he said that, I then got a good understanding of it. And then Rob Parker decided to now jump in and give his 2 cents. And if you know anything about Rob Parker over the last year now, he's been letting it fly, man. he don't hold back no more anymore. And it seems like this particular segment was just another example of Rob Parker laying loose. So what we want to do now is want to play exactly what Rob Parker had to say. Apart from the fact that it was very entertaining, I think he also brought up some pretty solid points. Take a listen to what Rob had to say here.
I totally disagree. And I dare the WNBA players. I dare you. Walk out. I dare you to walk out. Go ahead and walk out. I double dare you. Because despite Caitlin Clark, despite all this stuff, they still lost $40 million this past year. There was no bonanza. She's at her height. If you're losing money at her height, how in the world going forward? It ain't going up automatically. You just had the biggest bump and you still lost $40 million. I dare the union to walk out. I dare you players. Because it ain't going to be pretty. You can't collect money for 30 years. This ain't some new league that started and you understand it's going to take a little while to make money. They were subsidized by the NBA. I know firsthand. In Detroit, they didn't want the shock. The commissioner, they begged them, please. I know personally that when they were winning those championships, they couldn't sell tickets. They could not sell tickets. They had a full building because they were giving them away. And all I'm saying is you got to crawl before you walk. And I understand wanting more. But are you accounting for the 30 years of red ink that under normal circumstances you would not have had a league? These football leagues that keep starting up, USF, ULFL, all these things. Everybody all I'm ever told is everybody loves football, right? Why don't those leagues last? You know how many of those leagues are folded?
Oh, yeah.
Because they don't sell tickets. The TV numbers aren't good enough. And you can say whatever you want. Caitlin Clark, when she's not playing, the ratings went down 55%. Those are facts, not feelings. When she wasn't going to announce that she wasn't going to play the WNBA, the tickets dropped off the face of the earth. I'm not saying you're not entitled to money, but it's based off of what you bring in. Devin Booker's going to make $75 million a year, not because they like him, not because he's a man. That's the revenue that is brought in, right? And over time, that can happen. But come on, man, this is way too premature. And if I'm running the WNBA or I'm the NBA that owns the WNBA, I'm not going for the okie doke because Caitlin Clark showed up. And now there's still plenty of buildings where 6,000 people show up. Kelvin,
right.
Am I lying?
No, that's facts. But,
okay. And that's my point.
I hear you.
Don't get it twisted.
Listen,
don't get it twisted.
There's no guarantee.
I double dare them to walk out.
So you heard what Rob Parker had to say. What are my thoughts about this? First of all, prior to listening to this sound, I was unaware of the fact that they lost $40 million last year. $40 million. I had seen a clip of Shannon Sharp and Chad Johnson talking about it, but I didn't understand what they were talking. I just heard them say 40 million, 40 million, 40 million. I'm like, what? So I was confused about that. And then Rob explained it like these guys lost 40 million in revenue, 40 million, and people are complaining about salaries and not earning enough money. Now, let me give you guys my take on all of this. Is this the first time athletes have made a statement about things that they're concerned with? No, right? People make political statements, et cetera, et cetera. You saw the NBA do that in 2020, right? You saw all of that. In this case here, this is just another example of it. Like, we want to get paid our fair share. But we have a problem. According to what Kelvin said, they get 9% of revenue. Well, you can kind of understand that. When you're running at a loss, it's going to be hard for me to see you as an equal. Sorry to say. You don't have as much leverage. So comparing yourself to the NBA doesn't work. Because the NBA and its players generate so much money that they have a real argument to go and say, no, we need to split this pie here. Like, we need to split it. That's understandable because they drive a lot of the revenue. In the case of the players, they don't do that. Right? So if we're the ones taking the losses, running the operations and all of that, I'm not going to take all of these losses and at the end still split the money with you. Absolutely not. You guys go out there and make some more money and then we can rethink this thing. I think that is a reasonable position to take. That's the first. And the second thing, they shouldn't be comparing themselves to the NBA players. They should not be. The third thing is, I didn't even know that they lost $40 million, even with all of the Caitlin Clark craze that went on. That's crazy, because prior to last year, I never paid any attention to the WNBA. Last year was probably the most discussed year of the NBA, of the WNBA since its existence. And you're telling me with all of that fanfare, all of that conversation, they still took a $40 million loss. Now, obviously, I think they're slated to earn or gather a new $2 billion deal. Okay, you make money into the future. There's no what you're being owed. No. Now, in terms of the 9%, well, I mean, we can negotiate it, but you ain't getting no 50%. And the fact that they brought up the point that the NBA had lost money for 40 years, it really shows you that when you're building these leagues, it takes time to become popular. I never even knew that. For the NBA to go from losing money every single year to now, where it just signed a $75 billion TV deal over the next 11 years, that's pretty incredible. But they built it up to that level, right? They built it up to that level. And has the WNBA done that? No. At least the numbers don't say so. The popularity is not there. He talked about the fact that ticket sales fell off the face of the earth when Caitlin Clark announced that she wasn't playing. Bro, these are real things. As y'all know, we've been defending Kobe Bryant as much as we can on this channel. A lot of people have been trolling him, disrespecting him. And it's just crazy stuff. You're listening to dudes like, Jeff Teague out here, saying, oh, Kobe wasn't a great player and all of this. And then just yesterday I was on Instagram, I came across a video of Jeff Teague in one video recently saying, oh, Michael Jordan is the GOAT. And then turning around shortly after that and saying, oh, LeBron James is the GOAT. I'm like, yo, what is this NBA media turning into, bro? Like, these NBA, it's getting crazy, right? So I came across a video from the podcast Road Tripping with Richard Jefferson, Kendrick Perkins, and these guys. And the title of the video said, Lakers find their missing piece. Kobe Bryant disrespect must stop. Draymond versus Kenyon Martin. So y'all know me, I'm a Kobe guy. So I immediately click on the video to hear what Perk was talking about. This video came out just yesterday. So I then started posting clips of it on our Instagram, just like letting people know what's up. So I then went to watch the full video, and Kendrick Perkins begins to call out his counterparts in the NBA who have been disrespecting Kobe Bryant. And the craziest part as I was listening to Kendrick was that this is a former Celtic. You have a former Boston Celtic coming to the defense of one Kobe Bryant. Folks, it has come to this. For those of y'all who didn't hear what Kendrick Perkins had to say, I want to play his comments for you now. And want to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Kendrick Perkins here.
Problem I've been having. Speaking of Lakers, one of the all-time greats, arguably the greatest player to ever put on a Lakers uniform. The man got 2 statues. God rest his soul. Kobe Bean Bryant. Hey, y'all. The disrespect need to stop, man. It needs to stop. Let the man rest in peace. Get a man some space, some grace. I mean, what are we doing right now? We're around here. Every time I look up, it's something different about Kobe, and it's not positive. It's something negative. Oh, Kobe wasn't this. Kobe wasn't a primary defender. Kobe, and all. Man, shut the. Kobe Bean Bryant was like that on both ends of the floor. Take it from a guy that had multiple battles with Kobe. Take it from a guy that at the highest level, at the most important part of the season in the NBA Finals, I went to war against Kobe 2 times. 2 times. Celtics, Lakers. Matter of fact, in that type of robbery in the NBA Finals. When it comes down to Kobe, when you talk about his defense, you talk about, oh, the media was just praising Kobe. No, Kobe was locking the and especially when it mattered most, and especially in the postseason. Kobe wanted smoke. Cole wanted smoke. Let's not act like he didn't want smoke. Let's not act like he wasn't down sliding those puppies. He was doing that. When it comes down to Kobe and where he ranks on the all-time great list, I got him top 10. I'm actually tired of debating the whole what guys rank and things to that nature, but he's top 10 in my eyes. I'm going to leave it at that. Whether he has 6, 7, 8, 9, 5, whatever he is, he top 10. Top 3 most skilled player to ever play the game of basketball. He's Jordan offensively ×2 when it comes down to the offensive package that he had. And when you talk about a guy with mental toughness, I don't know if it's a guy we've ever seen that was more probably mental tough than Kobe Bryant. When it comes down to things that he was doing on the basketball floor, battling through injuries, coming back from injuries. And by the way, I'm not diving into the details of what actually happened through his bad time in the NBA off the court when it comes down to his situation with the legal issue down in Colorado. But I will say this, it just goes to show you his mental toughness. Kobe Bryant was leaving the courtroom, getting on a private jet, heading back to go play in the basketball game and giving people that work with his life on the line at the time. That man's life was on the time. His freedom was on the line. And that man was still able to come together and go find his safe place and go give people work on the basketball court, which a lot of us call our sanctuary. Do you know how many guys would have tapped out? You know how many guys would say, I can't do it, man. I can't play. I can't do it right now. I gotta take a break. I'm dealing with this, which is a big deal, right? Battling the whole case. His freedom was on the line. But still throughout that time, while he was going to trial and all that stuff, he was still going back and play the game of basketball at the highest level. Guys would have been tapping out. Guys would have been away from the team. Guys wouldn't have been able to lock in and even play the game of basketball, even think about the game of basketball. And guess what? I'm one of those guys if I was dealing with something like that. So when we talk about Kobe Bryant, and this is going to be my last time even engaging and talking about this is getting out of control. Let the man rest in peace, man. Let the legend rest in peace, man. We really need to stop. I get it. We're bored. It's summertime. We done watched so many summer league games. We don't know what else to talk about. So let's bring up more discussions. Let's talk about this. Let's ruffle the feathers. Hey, man, let's stop with the Kobe was like that all across the board. Again, in my eyes, top 3 most skilled player to ever play the game. More skilled than Jordan, and that's saying a lot. I didn't say he was a better basketball player. I'm not putting him ahead of Jordan. When it comes down to his offensive package, when you look at how he mimicked Michael Jordan along with how he added Elijah Warren in his game and went worked out with Hakeem the Dream, shimmy shake, yeah. Kobe was like that. Kobe was like that, straight up. So, man, let's just stop with all the disrespect. One of the most ultimate competitors that we've ever seen in the game of basketball. And I know we bored y'all, but give it a break.
Excellent. So you heard what Perk had to say there. What are my thoughts about this? Kendrick Perkins is just saying, just knock it off, man. Like, we've reached a point where it's time to knock it off. Like, for real, just like let's knock it off. Let's knock it off. Let's try to poo-poo on this guy's legacy. Let's knock it off. But now it seems like the new wave by NBA players and the media is to take a dump on Kobe's legacy. We just did a show the other day reacting to some comments that Shaquille O'Neal made where he was like, I could have won 3 rings with T-Mac. I could have won 2 rings with Vince Carter. I could have won 6 rings with Stephen Curry. And I'm like, yo, what is going on right now? Then I had to go to the internet, and then I found a clip of Shaq saying that the reason he keeps going to these finals was because of Kobe Bryant while they were in the locker room preparing for one of the games. For those of you who never heard this video, maybe we won't play it for y'all, because if we play it for y'all, we don't own the rights to the video, so maybe you won't be able to see him. But he's talking about Kobe. And Kobe's sitting right there on the bench, and he points to him. He's like, this man over there, pointing to Kobe Bryant. And now we get here, 20 years later, all of a sudden, Kobe wasn't that. I'm like, yo, what is going on? What is going on? And it seems like Kobe is the easy target. Like, he's the one that everybody wants to go after and get a rep off of. And now what's happening is that you have players that were nowhere near the level of Kobe Bryant, absolutely at all. And now they're trying to make it seem like, oh, well, I was good. Yeah, I'm good. Like, bro, no, you were good for yourself, you're not Kobe Bryant's level. You got dudes like Norris Cole, bro. Norris Cole. Talking about Kobe Bryant. Norris Cole. You got dudes like Jeff Teague running up on Kobe's legacy. Jeff Teague, who couldn't even tie Kobe Bryant's shoelaces. These are the dudes that are now running their mouth. These dudes. It's just crazy to me. And to have Kendrick Perkins as a person that faced Kobe Bryant in the finals, defend him, it's disgraceful. And if Perk is seeing this, a lot of people are. Shout out to Matt Barnes. He held Kobe down. Shout out to Steven Jackson. He held Kobe down too. Some people are telling me AI did as well, and some other people. But like, enough is enough with this nonsense, man. Enough is enough. So shout out to Kendrick Perkins for calling out all of these crazy guys for going at Kobe Bryant. Shout out to him, man. As you guys know, the NBA is trying to do it again. They tried to pull it off this soft season by turning Bronny James into a talking point. Last year, we really talked about him a lot. This year, I just think they're just doing it because they have nothing else to promote. They even try to promote a game between Bronny and Cooper Flag, the number 1 pick versus the 55th pick. I'm like, you can't even be serious. All right? You can't even be serious. And after that game, people, oh, man, Bronny out there, you're doing this thing. I'm like, okay, whatever. Right? Whatever. Just yesterday, we did a live where I said, no Laker fan that is concerned about the team winning is thinking about Bronny James because they know he's not going to add anything to winning. And it looks like I'm not the only one that thinks that, because apparently a recent acquisition that the Lakers just did could be the reason Bronny James receives no minutes. So I want to quickly read you a headline from an article from, I believe this is sportingnews.com. It says, Lakers Bronny James has Luka Doncic to blame for unfavorable free agency news. And when I first read that, I'm like, wait, what are they talking about? It was only until I started reading it and I was like, oh, okay, I get what they're saying. Okay, so let's continue on what this article says here. It says, things appear to be lining up well for the 20-year-old Los Angeles Lakers guard Bronny James. The USC product was a solid performer in the Summer League and was believed to be primed for more productive sophomore NBA campaign following a relatively unproductive rookie season. Relatively? Okay, let's continue on. However, on Saturday, ESPN Shams announced that former Boston Celtic guard and Defensive Player of the Year Marcus Smart will sign with the Lakers once Los Angeles makes ample room for him, negatively impacting James's chances of earning minutes next season. Based on a recent report made by The Athletic, Dan Wojcicki, James has Luka Doncic to blame for the unfavorable free agency news. Doncic, according to league sources, had communicated his desire for a capable rim-running center, shooting help, and defensive support. He stated, the Lakers responded by filling those needs with DeAndre Ayton, Jake LaRavia, and soon Marcus Smart. In addition to that, league sources said Doncic has been an active recruiter for the Lakers this summer and helped secure commitments from Ayton and Smart after both unexpectedly hit free agency via contract buyouts. And the article then goes on to say a few things. First of all, let me just say this about Luka. Luka Doncic is going to re-sign with the Lakers. That's a done deal. You don't start recruiting players for a team that you have no interest in being with in the future. Luka's going to re-sign with the Lakers. Luka Doncic is going to be a Laker going into the future, folks. You can book it. So those of y'all who thought that the Lakers might not get salty LeBron fan, oh man, they may not get him. Nah, yeah, that's not good. They're going to get Luka. They're going to get Luka, right? So we got that going on right there. Let's get back to this story about Luka costing Bronny minutes here. Let's look at Bronny James' numbers. Let's look at his numbers. Is it last year or this year? Let's look at his numbers last year. I don't see Let me see, regular season, preseason. They don't even have preseason numbers. So we don't even have Bronny's numbers from preseason, right? But Bronny's numbers, last year he averaged 2.3 points, 0.7 rebounds. Granted, he didn't really play any minutes. In the G League, he averaged 21.9 points, 5.1 rebounds, 5.5 assists. This was last year. They don't even have the summer league numbers. I don't even know. I don't even know. Let me see if I can find it, because I didn't even know what those Bronny James summer league stats. I'm sure they got it somewhere. Okay. I can't even find those numbers. They're not even posting it anywhere, right? There's summer league numbers. I've never even seen stats for the summer league. The point is this, folks. If Bronny was supposed to be this thing that people thought was supposed to be happening, they would not get Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart is a move that indicates the Lakers want to win. Saying that Bronny's going to get minutes coming into the season is a report that indicates that the Lakers are not serious about winning. Them going out there and getting a former defensive player of the year in Marcus Smart, that signals that they're serious. I've also heard some rumors out there that they may be targeting Drew Holiday. I don't know how that's going to work. I think that report is probably fake, unless they're looking to relegate Marcus Smart to the bench and then getting Drew Holiday. And if they got Drew Holiday, I'm sure Austin Reeves would probably be a part of that. And to be frank with you, I can understand a swap like that, because Austin Reeves, although he brings playmaking and all of that, he is a defensive liability, which now brings me to a point I forgot. Are you guys aware that the Lakers were only one of the few teams in the NBA last year to have 3 players that averaged 20 points plus? At least 20 points on their roster. They're starting. Are you guys aware of that? It's kind of crazy how they still lost in the first round, considering the fact that they were only one of the fewest teams in the NBA. Maybe a handful of teams that had 3 players that averaged 20 points per game. But anyway, I digress. Yes. If the Lakers are serious, you're not interested in wasting time talking about Bronny James. And if Luka Doncic is serious, that ain't Luka's son. Bronny ain't Luka's son, so why should he be invested in it? And he not going to be like LeBron's former teammates who be twerking it up all day long. And he's not going to do that. He's like, y'all got me here. I'm trying to win, baby. I'm trying to win. I'm trying to maximize my opportunity in LA. And Luka's already moving like a Laker. He already got the Laker vibes. He painted the mural that was the face of the Kobe Bryant and his daughter mural. He's doing the right things. You see, when you come to an organization, when you go to a city, when you go into somebody's town, you have to ingratiate yourself with the people there. You have to kind of do things for people around to say, man, okay, this guy, he respects where he is. That's what Luka's doing. When did LeBron ever do that? LeBron came to LA and made it about him. He made it about him. There's nothing that would indicate LeBron is a Laker to me. Nothing. Even the day they were unveiling Kobe Bryant's statue, he didn't even bother to show up. The face of the Lakers didn't even bother to show up for that. All the other former Lakers, they were all there. LeBron didn't even bother to show up. I don't know if he was invited. I'm sure he'd have been invited. Or he could have gone if he wanted to show, hey, man, I'm a part of the legacy. I understand. He didn't even bother. I guarantee you, if Luka was a Laker, he'll be there. He would have been there. Absolutely would have been there. So, tough. No more handouts. We'll get it at another team. Just yesterday, I believe, we did a show where I was reacting to Stephen A. Smith, where I went absolutely off on him because of him doubling down on his ridiculous Jeffrey Epstein comments that he made on the Chris Cuomo show. I'm not going to play those comments again, but I'm just going to quickly give you guys a summation of what he said. Essentially, he went on the show and said, oh, well, no, you can't definitively say there's a list, but then you can definitively say there's a list on this and the list of them. I'm like, what? And then he started saying, but don't people have better things to do? Well, I'm not worried about Jeffrey Epstein. Almost as if to laugh at people who are concerned about exposing peas. People that, I'm not going to use the word. Y'all understand the word I'm trying to use. It's like, why are y'all making a big deal out of this? I don't understand why MAGA and these guys, what's the big, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, what? So we went off on him. We gave our opinions. And I also said that I believe that Stephen A. Smith is a full-fledged grifter. Full-fledged. He says he's in the middle. All of his talking points are right-leaning, but then says I'm in the middle and I'm like, bro, knock it off. So what happened? There was some news that came out that the president had posted something on Truth Social as it pertained to the Washington Commanders, formerly known as the Washington Redskins, right? where he posted, and I'm not going to read it because Stephen A. Smith read it, and we're going to get to that. But he was essentially saying that the Washington Commanders need to change their name back to the Washington Redskins. And if they don't do so, he's not going to grant them the city permits to build a new stadium. So Stephen A. Smith apparently heard this news and decided to just go all the way off on Donald Trump for him taking that position. So what we want to do is we want to play Stephen A. Smith first reading the post from Donald Trump so you guys understand the context. And then I want you guys to listen to his full response of what he had to say to Donald Trump there. Take a listen to what Stephen A. Smith had to say there.
I'm pretty pissed. I ain't going to lie about it. I mean, there's certain things that just pisses me off. And this is one of them. I'm tired of people walking around dancing around Donald Trump. I'm not an extreme leftist, okay? But I ain't MAGA either. I call balls and strikes. Some stuff is just bullshit, and it needs to be said. It's time to do that now. The Stephen A. Smith Show in the house. Trump also said Sunday that he wants Cleveland's baseball team to go back to his former team, the Indians. All right? The Washington Commanders and the Cleveland Guardians have had their current names since 2022, and both have stated that they have no plans to change them back. Trump obviously took to Truth Social on Sunday with this quote: "The Washington whatevers should immediately change their name back to the Washington Redskins football team. There is a big clamoring for this. Likewise, the Cleveland Indians, one of the 6 original baseball teams with a storied past. Our great Indian people in massive numbers want this to happen. Their heritage and prestige is systematically being taken away from them. Times are different now than they were 3 or 4 years ago. We are a country of passion and common sense. Owners, get it done." 3 exclamation points. Late in the day, the president followed up about the stadium deal. Quote, "My statement on the Washington Redskins has totally blown up, but only in a very positive way. I may put a restriction on them if they don't change the name back to the original Washington Redskins and get rid of the ridiculous moniker Washington Commanders. I won't make a deal for them to build a stadium in Washington. The team would be much more valuable, and the deal would be more exciting for everyone. Indians are being treated very unfairly. Make Indians great again." Ladies and gentlemen, this is the epitome of bull and the epitome of pettiness. Now, I'm not one that sits here, although I can be critical of the president. We all know how I feel about the Democratic Party and how they lost the election. They blew the election, and they tried to pull the country to the extreme left. And as a result, they've ravaged our nation, for crying out loud. Okay? We know how critical I can be about the Democratic Party. That ain't the focus of today's diatribe that I'm about to go in on. You've got a situation with Donald Trump. You don't have anything better to do? Of course you do. This is an evasive tactic. That's why I call BS on it, because it's an evasive tariff wars, how's that working out? Yes, we've got pledges. We've got trillions of dollars in pledges from businesses and manufacturing throughout the United States of America. When's that going to come to fruition? We've got a border issue. No doubt he closed the border. Make no mistake about it. Immigration has improved in this country, whether we like it or not. But how he's going about it, how he's been going about it, particularly throughout the streets of America and especially in Los Angeles, you got folks being pulled over, law-abiding citizens, maybe not American citizens. They're here as migrants. They're here illegally. Fine. Breaking no laws, working, paying taxes, but somehow, some way, I thought the criminal elements were going to be focused on. I thought we were going to get the criminals out of this country. Not just go and have folks scared to show up to work, for crying out loud, who have disobeyed no laws. How about that? So we can sit there and we can have visions from 2 vantage points. Nevertheless, that's not as clean cut as everybody tries to make it out to be. There's a war between Russia and Ukraine that you promised to absolve from day one. That hasn't happened. There's the Israeli-Hamas conflict, where destruction is taking place in Gaza, where it's been reduced to rubble, where women and children are homeless, where we see and hear about children starving for bread. And all we hear from you is, hey, Israel, we need to stop this. Let's have a ceasefire. But that still is not completely resolved. There's a whole bunch of issues that are going on in the United States of America. There's those Epstein files that even the MAGA right has turned against Trump on, at least to some degree, not just MAGA right followers, podcasters, but also representatives on Capitol Hill who want the list to be released. With folks saying, hey, just show the list. Just show us who's on the list. You got people like me taking heat because I don't give a damn about the Epstein list, only because I'm thinking about politicians lying all the damn time. I'm thinking it was a campaign ploy, even though that's not something that Trump campaigned on. The MAGA right certainly did. And so you got folks from the deep state, as they say, that may have been a part of the Epstein files, and people may want to know who was that. Who was that was engaging in sex trafficking and other salacious and incendiary behavior with underage girls? And suddenly that list has not been revealed, contrary to what Pam Bondi told us, contrary to what Kash Patel told us, contrary to what Dan Bongino swore to us. So we got all of this going on. And you bring up the Redskins and their name from years ago? And the Commanders of the National Football League? Really? That's where we going?
So you heard what he had to say. Folks, let me tell you where this issue lies, where the problem is. The problem is you can't play both sides. It's just not going to work. An independent never won the White House, for as far as I know. It's been Democrats and Republicans. And Democrats think a certain way. Republicans think a certain way. So you saying that you're in the middle confuses people. You can't one day come out and say one thing about this side and then the next day come out and say this thing about the other side, because people then don't know where you land. I'm not saying that, if a Republican takes the White House, when you get to the White House, it means that you can't be reasonable, you can't work across the aisle and do no. Nobody's saying that. But from an ideological standpoint, people need to know where you are. If you listen to Stephen A. Smith in this soundbite, number one, he said this is a distraction tactic. Yes, he is correct. It is a distraction tactic. You don't even need to be a hater of Donald Trump to say that. Even his own supporters will tell you that for free. Just yesterday, I heard they're going to be releasing information on the assassination of Martin Luther King. People are like, this is fantastic. Now, also, please, what about the Epstein files? This is what people were saying, right? Even Martin Luther King's daughter, I believe, said that. One of his family members said that. So people see through it, right? People still see that. If you now listen to him talking about the Epstein thing, you notice that he had a switch there. You notice now how he changed his position versus what he said on Chris Cuomo's show. And this is why you can't play both sides. Stephen A. Smith would be much better as a political commentator if he picked a side. Are you going to have Democratic views? Or are you going to have Republican views? Are you going to have liberal views or conservative? Because then people can understand, okay, how you view the world. But by you saying, okay, I'm in the middle, says, okay, well, I can be reasonable. Yeah, most people can be reasonable. Most people can see things from both sides and still disagree. So you now have to take a side. And this, to me, is just another grift back to the left. Why? Because he notices the sentiment has changed. What did I say in the original video of Cuomo? When he was going off saying that thing, he didn't realize that the sentiment has shifted, that Trump's main supporters had turned on him. Podcast, you guys follow the news. So now it's like as if he caught up, like, okay, wait a minute, gotta go back over there to the left because that's where things are trending. People are now upset with Trump. I gotta show my support. And then if Trump starts gaining support again, I'm gonna go back to Trump. This is the problem. This is the problem. You can't play both sides. The thing is too divided. America is too divided. It's too polarized. People want to know, where do you stand on this thing? This is where it is. This is where we are. This is where we are. And to me, if you look at an individual like Stephen A. Smith, you're worth $100 million, bro. Or you just got $100 million. You got to have at least $20, $30 million in the bank. And you're still afraid to give your perspective on things? The people with less than that are willing to stand on what they believe. There are people with less than that. So to me, this just looks like another grift, man. Oh, let me grift back to the left. Let me go back over here and say what people on the left are going to be saying. Or maybe I understand that some people on the right will be also feeling the same way, so I'm kind of safe. Nah, bro. You're a guy that's on the left playing as if you're on the right. And when the moment presents itself where the sentiments change, and I got to say this, there are a lot of people that are doing. There are a lot of people that were pro-Trump that notice, the wind is moving in a different direction. Now I got it. There are a lot of people. One of these guys is being accused of this is, oh God, is it Andrew Schultz? Andrew Schultz, I believe is his name, the comedian / political commentator. People are roasting him. People are like, bro, no, don't grift. Don't grift now. So there's a lot of that going on, and I just felt like, okay, well, this kind of intersects with sports. Stephen A. Smith, the Redskins. Let me get my viewpoint on it.